Well, hello everyone. My name is Brandon, and welcome back to another podcast. We are doing a streamer spotlight today with someone who's not even really a streamer necessarily. However, they are a YouTuber who is very impactful in the space, doing something awesome, and I'm really excited for you to be able to hear from them. The truth is, I lies at Sai. Sorry, I have chat going as well. By the way, if you're listening to this on podcast, whatever the case, just know that all of these, are recorded live, and if you want to be a part of them, I post about them when they're going live on my YouTube and as well as on my Twitter. So make sure you check that out so you can be a part of the stream, ask questions to the guest or even myself. And it's pretty exciting. So let me go ahead and say once again, thank you for being here. I'm excited for you to meet our guest today. I'm really excited about his content and where he's going. And honestly, the quality that he's improved over the last year and a half that I've watched and seen what he's done and went back and watched his library. It's pretty cool. I would be remiss if I didn't mention my brand new OBS course over at darkencyrus.com. You can get it for $15 right now with the OBS 25 code. Make sure you go check that out. I'm also going to be releasing some products and shirts and other things that you can be able to pick up on my store very soon. So make sure you check out all of that at darkencyrus.com. Now, without me continuing to do selfless promo over here and very stealing the time of someone who is amazing, let's bring him on. Hello, sir.
Howdy, howdy.
All right, let me start off with this. First of all, I ask everyone before we do an intro, okay? And you already alluded to the fact that you've been prepped on this, by the way. Let me ask, what was your first Pokemon game and what was your starter? What consoles you played on? Everything.
Yeah, so it's gonna be back to the original Red, and I was one of those nerds. If I went with Red, I had to go with Charmander. If I would have went with Blue, it would have been Bulbasaur, or not Bulbasaur, but Squirtle, and so forth and so forth. So
Yeah,
definitely Charmander.
yeah. Okay. So did you stick with Charmander? Did you stay with Charizard all the way through the Elite Four? Everything?
So I was the guy that went and got Charizard to level 100 as quickly as possible and just dominated everybody through the game. That was just me. I was just like, okay, let's just get one Pokemon to a level 100 and then just destroy everybody else.
Welcome to vanilla Pokemon. Okay, here's the other question. Did you know about Missing No when you were playing it? Do you even know what Missing No is?
I don't know. So man, I'm 34, almost 35 years old next month. So yeah.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm 33. We're close.
We're close.
We're close. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let me work on that. The more I do this, I feel a little older, so that'd be fine. All right, so let me ask this: who are you? What do you do? Where are you going? Don't go too deep into stuff because I'm going to dig into a lot of things. But the real question is, why do you do the content you do? What's your backstory? There's got to be something like that.
Yeah. So pretty much, my name is James Pugh, hence Pugh's Review, and I got into all this because I just absolutely loved gaming for my entire life. It was a way for me to kind of escape reality. We are not to go too deep because it might come up, but very poor, not really having a whole lot going on, kind of some dark moments in my life. So gaming was a way to kind of escape all that and really just to be able to sit down and connect with other people online as well later on when you get live and stuff. But I wanted to figure out how to be encouraging, family friendly, and maybe direct people into the right way of streaming or making content or anything like that. So that's why I kind of started Pugh's Review, because I saw that there was not that there wasn't was a need, but there was a specific need. I felt like where there's not enough family friendly, I feel like, content creators in the exact area. There's definitely a lot of family friendly ones. I mean, I would consider a family friendly streamer and a content creator, but I felt like we need more of it, more positivity and stuff in the world. So I decided to make my channel, and I kind of try to do it like this, no fluff. When you watch my reviews and stuff, I try to not have fluff, because in a world where our attention span is 8 seconds or less, the last thing you want to see is me talking about my lifelong story of how I bought a controller in line or something like that. So I just try to cut all the fluff out and get straight to the point down my tutorials, on my reviews, all that. And that way, try to keep people coming back and stuff. But that's kind of like a small broke down version, because I don't know what you're going to ask me and I don't want to answer it now. And podcast be over in 5 minutes. So
Yeah, I definitely want to get into some stuff. But let me start with some basic questions. Your YouTube channel, you wanted to get into it for content, family friendly content, things like that, right? Was the beginning of your channel first video you uploaded? Is it still live, first of all? And in that same case, was it the content that you're making today?
okay, so the funny thing about that is, yes, it is live. I went back and watched it maybe a month ago just to see. And OMG, the quality alone is just crazy. When I first started a channel, I procrastinated so long because I wanted everything to be perfect before I hit play, before I hit record. And after doing it, I thought I did a good job and stuff. And now looking back, it sucked. I was like, oh my goodness, like what was I thinking? I did an unboxing of the Xbox Series X, and I had this like black tarp on the table that was all squinched up and like just horrible. The angle of the camera, I was trying to make sure I was in the shot. It was just really, really bad. But yes, it is live. So like it is the same content. The Pew's review, though, it's funny that you mentioned that, because when I first started the channel, I wanted to be like a Mr. Review, like review of everything and anything. Like if you go back in my history, you'll see I did like a review on chicken sandwiches. I did a review on like a car cleaning. I'm not even lying. Like Bane of Mice is in the chat. He was in that video with me, and we were talking about dogs licking our feet and stuff while eating chicken sandwiches. It was super weird. But yeah, I wanted to be known for like everything, but then I realized really quick through my journey that if you try to get known for everything, you won't be known for nothing. Yeah. So I started niching down. One of my, I guess you would say like mentors on YouTube would be like, I don't know if you watch him or know him, Sean Cannell.
Oh yeah.
Think Media.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I'm in his course, VRA and everything. So like a lot of like the things I think about and talk about are really just from him, because he's just so smart in what he does.
Yeah, totally. I love Sean. I love his team, and I love like Nolan, who he brought on. I love all these people who he's got in his orbit. But not only that, I love how he brought people on, but he is still so involved and engaged, and he didn't pass that torch, I mean, sure, he allows them to be, creators on the channel and everything, but he's very much driven. I love his conferences, his videos. He's just to the point. If y'all don't know Sean Cannell, he is the leader of the Think Media channel, as well as the Think Media podcast. Really awesome. You should go check it out if you're a YouTuber, especially, because that's where he's driving all of his stuff on.
Yeah, it's awesome because like with him, like he is still active in comments and liking videos. It's amazing. Of all the things that he does, he still takes time out to connect with his audience and the people that are supporting him. So it's just a really good testimony. Really great guy. I love him to death.
Yeah, and comments. I mean, again, there's so many things that I want to unpack with you, because I've interviewed streamers, right? And this is called the Streamer Spotlight series, right? But you're the first person I've talked to that's a YouTuber in my niche that's, not just starting out, fresh 2 videos kind of thing. Like you've established, you're doing awesome. So let's unpack that a little bit further. Where are you at now as far as are you doing great? Are you on a big uptrend? How is that going for you? What are I hate talking numbers, but in YouTube everyone's all about it. What are your numbers, man? I know what they are. What does the audience think?
Yeah, so my numbers have been on a huge uproar, even in the last 28 days. Like I went from like 50K views for the month to like 73 right now. Is like of today. I checked them earlier today, so almost right at 25,000 views in 1 month. And then like I went from like gaining like around 100 subs a month to this month I'm at almost 200 subs.
Dang,
and it's so like, and honestly, it's all around pretty much one style of video I'm doing right now, and I know what video it is, and I have pretty much regurgitated it a few different times in a few different ways, kind of make sure it doesn't seem like I'm putting the same content out, that I'm trying to innovate it and make it better and make it in different style ways, and just to keep that uptrend going on that and being known for that. And you probably know what I'm talking about is the USB mic on Xbox. I've done it 3 times now, different ways. Like I just figured out, because last time you reviewed my channel and you looked at the first video I made for that, and because you were talking about the Turtle Beach adapter. Yep. But then I figured out how to use a USB mic without that, and I was like, "Holy moly, this is huge!" So like, I made a video on that, and it was so weird because you're a genius. Like when it comes to it, I feel like the audio and stuff, but it's using the XLR with the USB hookup. Like for some reason, you don't need the Turtle Beach adapter, and I just doesn't register on why. But it only works on like a third-party wired controller. So for all the testing I had to do to like get to that point, it's crazy. Like I sit here for hours of days and just testing this stuff to try to find if I can find something for the audience.
The video that you're doing right now about talking, we talked off stream. I don't want to spoil your video. But let me just say that video that you mentioned is a video I was like, man, I've got to make this video because I've got one up right now that's very similar, like how to use a mic on an Xbox. And it's performing great. It doesn't give all the information, and I wish I could just redo it and add like a little bit. I'm sure you have the same thing. Like, man, I wish I could just go back and a little snippet. And really, what's happened is my YouTube comments has become my biggest fuel for whether or not, my litmus test of whether or not it's working, right? And so I have so many people in comments I help every single day, like, make sure you plug it in this way, make sure you try this, have you tried this, maybe it's not your headset, maybe it's this cable, maybe it's this piece. But I have known about what you're talking about, the third-party controller. I hesitated to promote it because I was like, then if I push third-party controllers and then they just go buy some random third-party controller instead of this one, because I've had capture cards that are identical, and then 2 months later they just continue to release it. This one was USB 3, this one was USB 2, and I was like, what if they change the innards? And so I've hesitated, and so I'm so glad that you're doing it because I was like, man, I don't know if I want to pull the trigger.
And speaking of that, that's like one of the things, like for us content creators, is like one of my biggest fears is someone buying something and it not doing what it's supposed to do, or it being a little bit different than the one I actually did in the video. It's so crazy because I get that question all the time. Well, will this mic work with it? I don't know. I didn't test that mic. You know what I mean? I try to tell people like, hey, if I tested it, it's in the comments, it's in the description for you to try. And if not, maybe someone in the community can say something about it. Did you see the one where I did the remote streaming version of it?
Yes. There's so many questions I have about the content on your channel because they're ideas that are just, they're out there. And I'm curious, like, where do you get some of this stuff? Is it all comments? Is it just you're driving down the road, doing your 9 to 5 and you're like, you know what?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Exactly what it is. Honestly, I drive down the road and I just get these random thoughts and I will just jot them down as in like a voice recorder on my phone or something. I'll just hit record and be like, hey, make sure you check this out. And then I'll go back and when I start my research, I'll listen to that. I'm like, oh yeah, let me check that out. And then I'll do some testing. I'm like, oh my gosh, it works.
Again, there's so many things I want to go down the road of. I feel like you and I could probably have this conversation for like 3 hours. But let's stick to specifically your journey, how you went, and what we're doing. Okay, so you start posting videos, you go into the content you're doing, right? What was that like? You were a first beginning creator, you released that video that's somewhat in your niche, you're doing reviews on anything, then you figure out you need to niche down, right? What was the point where, because I had a very clear moment, not everyone does, but I had a very clear moment where it was like, oh, I'm doing this right, and my analytics made a turn. Did you have that, or has it been a slow growth? Was there a decline? What was that like?
Yeah, so the first moment was the first controller review I did. It was the Fusion Pro 1 controller, and and when it's so funny looking back because it's like the super small milestones that we don't like today. I don't even think about. I'm like, oh man, I only got that. I got 100 views.
That's amazing.
And I was, you know what I mean? Nowadays, I'm like, I'm only at 100 views. What's going on? But, I need to humble myself and remember just, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I was like excited about 100 views. Yeah. But that was the first controller that I've ever reviewed. That was the first pro controller I ever played with. I had never played with a pro. I've always just picked up a normal controller and played with it. So it was like new territory for me. And I was like, I loved it. Now that I've tested so many other controllers and stuff, I'm like, man, that controller was trash. But the paddle situation on that controller was trash. The stick drift, like it's just completely. But anyways, I already mentioned the controller. Oh well. But so that was one, and then I did the. I had a lot of people start asking me through comments about how to get party chat on your streaming through Xbox. And I wasn't even doing content on that yet. And I was just like, well, I don't know, And so I started kind of looking into it. I was like, well, I mean, if I can answer a question for the audience, ask a simple question, right?
Yeah, totally.
Maybe I could do it. So I made a video on how to stream through the Xbox. And I was like, what I'll do is I'll attach on how to fix party chat issue there, like, because a lot of people are having that issue. Oh, it won't pick up my party chat. So once I did that video, all of a sudden that video just took off. It was like 100 views, 200 views, 300 views, 400 views. I was like, holy moly. And then like when I went back and looked at my analytics, the spike in the video was right there at where I talked about the party chat. And I was like, oh, okay, so this is huge. Like, evidently this is a big thing for streamers and stuff. So that's when I kind of started like making more Xbox related videos. So this is where I kind of generate my content around, is Xbox stuff, like Xbox streamers and Xbox controllers. I'm getting into the USB mic territory. This is an XLR mic territory. This is more new for me, but it can be used on Xbox. So I'm like, it's still niche, but it's a broader niche. My main niche is Xbox, and then I'm kind of broadening out from there.
Right. Man, I feel like you and I just need to collab. I feel like we should just collab on a video. I feel like, and maybe that's nah, man. You got a great idea. You need to run with that. Don't let me steal your thunder on that.
No, I'm all for collabing. Like, honestly, one of my biggest things, and I just was talking to my wife about it and talking to a couple of my friends about it, was getting more connected with content creators. Like, I don't really have that. My buddy Bane of Mice, he's a content creator, but he's more like, it's like a hobby for him. And so we can talk a little bit. I have another friend that does a little bit of podcasting and stuff. I don't have someone that's really, really in the area that I can literally just have conversations with, bounce ideas off of, and like literally be like, hey, is this a good idea or is this stupid? And like have that person there for the growth experience. Like, you hear Sean Cannell and his story, and it's like he had all these people around him that was already in the area and stuff. And I'm just like, man, it sucks. I have VRA with them, but it's not, it's through Facebook. I don't really connect. Like, I'm not being on chat with them and talking to them like I'm talking to you right now. So that's something I'm craving. So
really?
Collab,
so let's do it, bro. I'm not even joking, because of the same thing. Like, when I started, okay, I have a group of friends. They're fantastic, right? They're all local to me. And, they've been my biggest support. Not only are they like in my streams, they're some of them are in chat right now. They're in Discord. They help me run these charity events. They're crazy, right? But none of them are making content in my niche. And so it's that same thing. I feel that, I've gotten to the level I'm at, and I've had zero collaborator support of my niche. A couple of conversations with like Epos Vox, stuff like that, but nothing crazy. Yeah, man, we should connect.
I'm for it, man. Dude, there's so many ideas that we can, like, there's kind of my, because like with your audio background, and then maybe like with my controller at Xbox, like we can totally do something for like an Xbox streamer, like 100%.
As a YouTuber, as you're getting into it, you start making content, you get monetized. I think you've reached YouTube partner status, right?
Yes, 100. Yeah, definitely.
Do you remember the day, the time? Were you watching analytics the whole time as it got closed? Come on now.
Yeah, definitely remember. It happened last year, right around my year anniversary, and I just remember because I was already at the subscribers. It was the 4,000 watch hours that was it was killing me, which is crazy because now, last month alone, I did 2,000 watch hours.
Oh, that's crazy, man.
You know what I mean? So it's like, man, like the growth in just a year is like green arrows all on my stuff. Like I don't see red arrows very often, and not to say it won't, be there, and I'll be okay with that, because it's impossible just to continue to grow like I'm growing. And I'm growing for me viral right now, not for like some other people, but for me and my niche and what I've been doing on my channel, it's viral for me, just like viral for me videos, VRF videos, but VFM, not VRF. Anyways, you're going to get a lot of that from me. I have my English language sometimes leaves me. You ask all my audience, my wife, my friends.
Like Charlie Brown comes in there in a little bit. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, it's bad. The Charlie Brown character. Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. So, after a little over a year or just under a year? You just got around the year mark.
Yeah, it was just over a year, honestly, and and like we'll probably get into it, but looking back, I was super excited about it because of the revenue. Like, man, I'm big shot. I'm making money. I can quit my job. And I was like, why ain't the money coming in? Why, like, the first month I only made like $3? Like, what's going on here?
Man.
So yeah. it's crazy. But I'm doing pretty good in it now. I mean, we could talk about it. My CPM, it's like $8, and then my RPM of what I actually bring home is like $3 and some change, which is weird because they say you bring 50% of what the RPM or the CPM is, but it's under 50%. That's a question I have for YouTube. I think they're taking money from me.
You know what? They just robbing you blind. That's what it is, man.
50 cents a 1,000 views, man.
If you don't know, let's define that. RPM and CPM. CPM is cost per milli, which is how much you get paid per 1,000 views. And when you say you get paid, it's really what YouTube gets paid. And then RPM is revenue per milli, which is actually what the creator makes, which is it's supposed to be around that 50%. But yeah, sometimes, and even mine, I know that mine is less.
And also, just so people know, milli is Roman for 1,000. Why they didn't just put RPT for 1,000? I don't know, but I always wondered that, and I figured it out finally.
Everything has to be special, man. That's what it is. Everything.
Like me.
I love it. Okay, so let's focus on that a little bit. Let's talk about monetization. You said you made like $3 in your first month. I'm an open book transparent. You don't have to be open book transparent, right?
Oh, I am. I'm fine with that.
So like this past month was my biggest YouTube ad month and was phenomenal, blew me away. I would even pull it up, but I'll just tell you. Like last month I made $552 on YouTube ads, right? Which is crazy. Yeah, which is crazy. It was my biggest month. But when you say like you had a $3 month, I'm thinking like we're in the same space, the same niche. My RPM's a little higher, my CPM's a little higher. I'm at like $13 for CPM. It's around $7, $6 for RPM. It fluctuates. Yeah. But I've got some videos CPM that are in like the 20s and 30s. And what I've realized is those are my money makers. Those are my good ones, right? So I've realized what videos those are, and those are the ones I've been kind of doubling down on, right? What I wanted to say to that specific point was you had like a $3 month. Have you seen a gradual increase? What was that like? Go as in detail as you want.
Yeah, so like the $3 month was like the very, very, very beginning, right? Like that was just like a few views and stuff like that. My last 28 days, I made like $176, and that's the highest. That was my highest month as well. And it's like it's just kind of gone up. It's not like a super huge growth. Like I remember when it was just this year where I started breaking 100 every month because you have to break 100 to get paid by YouTube. And I started doing that. I think it was like around March of this year, and then every month it's been around 100. It started going up a little bit. So like I'm at 157 now. I'd be happy if I can start getting up to 200. But I know with RPMs and CPMs, like more educational, I'm guessing like your higher RPMs and stuff are all around your educational style videos. Is that right? Or is it around your mics and stuff like that?
I don't know if I can say specifically that it's a niche here. You know what I'm going to do? This is what we're going to do. Let's learn together, guys. Let's learn together.
I love it.
I'm just going to pull it together and we're just going to look at it. Okay. Let's see. Stream. I'm going to put this on here. Stream. Are you able to see? Everyone able to see what we're looking at here? I hope so. Can you see this, Pew?
I can see it.
All right.
It's beautiful.
Cool. All right, so I'm just gonna pop this up and show it. So this is my CPM RPM graphs for the last 28 days. Okay, so as you can see on the right, this is CPM. This is what people pay per 1,000 views to YouTube. It's not the RPM, and then how much revenue I've made, and it shows you how much percent of your total revenue that becomes. So as you can see, like I've got a 15, a 14, a 13, right? But then I've got a 24, I've got a 22. And as I go down here, these don't make up as much revenue, but I can see like a 25, a 22, a 20. And so all of these are like this one that's a 25. This is a tutorial. This one right here is $20. This is a tutorial. This one right here is me talking about capture card, a specific capture card. It's a tutorial. Yeah. And then if we go to more recent, like this video, which is the Fifine SC3 mic or mixer, which is my best performing video of the last 28 days and will most likely be on my channel soon. $16 for that review is pretty nice for a review in itself. Like $16. Yeah. This is a tutorial, and some of these are specifically branded. Like this is a product review. And the only reason I think it's high is because it says Walmart. So it all depends, and this is what I pay attention to, because when I look at my channel, it'll say your CPM is $12.96. That's only a very small part of the story, because that's just an average. Because this is what tells me, oh, okay, if I'm wanting to maximize Google ad rev, this is where I need to be. And in that same case, if I'm maximizing Google ad rev, YouTube might promote my videos more, etc. But that's not always the case, because if I'm getting, $25, for 1,000 on this one, why am I only getting on this video specifically, if I go to it, like 17 views a day?
Right.
Right.
It's nice too, because you can, like all your videos, they just stack up over time. And if you make evergreen content, like that's going to just be pretty much passive income coming in for as long as your channel's out, as long as it's evergreen content.
Exactly. And with that, I'll show you this. So this is my last 28, right? So some people are weird. Some people, let me ask you this. Have you ever found someone who's like weird about their analytics? Like, oh no, I don't want to talk about this.
No, just because I don't talk to people about it. Now I do. I will say, like in VRA, I'll have people that will, on our Facebook group, they'll actually post their analytics, but they always hide like the revenue and stuff for some reason. I'm just like, why does it matter?
Why? Yeah. Like, oh my God, we're making Google ad rev.
Yeah. I want people to know what I'm making, because we haven't got to this part yet, but I am wanting to, I'm wanting to get into more of like a tutorial style, like reviews, but also for tutorials for like streamers and stuff like that. Like what you're doing is what my end goal was, and I decided to make a long time ago. And I've just gradually, I just started, I've recorded like several videos for Streamlabs that are horrible, but I had to start somewhere. And I've started, I'm slowly releasing them. But like my thing about it is, it's like I got to learn somehow. So the only way to learn is just by doing it. I'm that guy, like on hands learner. So I made a video on like an overview for Streamlabs, just literally talking about what the front page is, where everything is. After reviewing it, after editing it and stuff, I was like, man, I could have done a lot better job. But now I know if I remake this content next year, I can do a better job. I know where I need to improve and stuff at. So
yeah, totally. And some of those like older videos that bring them to your channel, that's kind of the magnet. And I'll show you here. I don't want to just like talk about my analytics all the time, because it's not what it's about, but I think it's relevant to what we're saying.
100%.
Like when you're talking about, I get 140K views the last 28 days, right? Like that's cool. This is the highest it's ever been, right? That's over monetization hours, plenty of subscribers, revenue. Okay. But I have 265 active videos like on my channel. So I've been cranking content. And if I scroll down, like this video is probably my most recent one. This one's like 5 months old. This one's 2 years old.
Yeah.
This one, very recent. This one's 3 years old. A year old. 3 years old. 2 years old. A year old. And we're talking about like content that these are my top 10 in the last 28 days. And this is not content that I've released in the last month. This is content that, like you said, in a year's time, this is going to be the magnet that pulls them in. I've pulled them in right here, like best stream PC using only Xbox to stream, right? Professionally. And I use a microphone in this video. But when I bring them in on that keyword and they continue to see my channel, the more I release Xbox stuff, they're still going to be able to click it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's crazy, because like if I go and look at mine, my top 3 performing videos is the one I made last year on USB mic, the one I made this year on USB mic, and the short I made on USB mic. And that's something I do want to mention real quick, because a lot of people love shorts and nowadays and stuff, and vertical and stuff. And for growth, I feel like shorts are good, but for revenue, they're horrible.
Exactly.
Absolutely horrible. My RPM on a short is 9 cents.
Yes, I made like 13 cents out of short rev last month. I don't even post shorts as much as I used to, because that's like old rev. But even when I was posting it, the most I got was like $1, and I had maybe like 100K views. And if I had 100K views on a video, a long form, we're talking like $150 that I'd be probably getting out of that. If it was 100,000 views in a month, especially if it was a high rev, like high CPM, RPM, grow your channel on shorts. That's fine. I just have a different opinion on how it goes.
Yeah, I think when it comes to shorts and stuff, it's a good way to get noticed. And one of the biggest things I use now is because there's new analytics on YouTube where you can see where your audience is watching from. Shorts, live streams, or long form content. There's a graph there. My graph is up on both shorts and long form content all the way. So I know there's like a opportunity there for shorts for me to kind of grow and like bring people towards my long form content. And another thing is my live is out of 5 bars, it's up 3 bars. So I'm like, I'm not taking advantage of that. I don't think enough going live, because evidently there are people that watch live that are in my audience.
Sure. Sure. In that same case, that live ticker, sometimes I feel like it's not telling the whole story because my live is high, but I don't go live. I've been doing the streamer review, so I go live here now, right? I feel like it's also past live streams because I've gotten a lot of views on like past live streams that I left public, and I think that also counts to that live piece. But it's not clarified. Maybe it is,
Right.
but I haven't seen it, right?